West Ham welcome Manchester United to the London Stadium on Sunday, feeling confident that we can possibly cause an upset. Pellegrini's side have only lost once this season, and we kind of possibly fancy our chances against Manchester United, whose midfield and attack has fallen short of expectations so far this season. Aside for our drubbing on the opening day of the season, 5-0 against Manchester City, we have demonstrated, some tactical acumen, overall technical ability, which suggests we're not, hopefully, going to be battling another season at the relegation zone. We've recognised the importance of evolution on the pitch with the departures of people like Mark Arnautovic and Hernandez, combined with the signing of Sebastian Haller for 36 million. And it's a sign that we're kind of refusing to stand still and try and progress the club moving forward. Indeed, perhaps the most important position in which one needs to start well this level is the number 9 role, and I think Sebastian Haller brings that to the side. He's scored 3 goals in 4 games so far in his opening matches since his arrival to the club. When it comes to setting yourself apart from teams battling it out of the bottom, the key variable is how precise your football can be in the final third and how regularly you can put the opposition back around their own box. Now, we have those players and we are capable of doing that. We drew 0-0 against Aston Villa on Monday Night Football, and despite not scoring some goals, it was a good illustration of how West Ham have possessed a level of technical abilities moving forward, and these are the sort of games that we would potentially have been losing in the past few seasons. So for me, there was positives to be taken. Now, we've worked hard to address the attacking midfield area since Dimitri Payet left the club. Why am I bringing him into the equation? Because we really have, and it's something that Pellegrini has addressed since coming to the club. You've just got to look at the players like Yarmolenko, Lanzini, Wilshere, Felipe Anderson, just to name a few in that midfield options. Now, last season, West Ham played Manchester United, where Pellegrini, it's nearly exactly a year ago to the day that we defeated Manchester United against Jose Mourinho's men 3-1 at home, and what a game it was. We're the more energetic team, we had more confidence, and we are hopefully going to expose the shortcomings of our visitors this week. Now, moving into the game in particular, there is quite a bit of team news coming out from both sides, I suppose you could say. After Masuaku's sending off, double yellow card, so can't be rescinded. He will obviously be banned for 1 game, so it looks like Creswell is going to step into his shoes. And you know what? There's a lot of negativity around Creswell at the club, but I think Pellegrini likes him. I really do, and I think he's going to give him. This is going to give him a chance to shine, to show what he can do. We have missed that Creswell of the first season, and he desperately needs to find form to come back and prove something. Both Antonio and Reid are still out, with the latter, actually, Winston Reid, returning to full training next week, which is great news. And Antonio has picked up his recovery after his knee brace was removed. Other news was that Lanzini will also face a late fitness test, so that would be really disappointing if he does miss the game, but I do think he is going to get through. I think there's just West Ham being precautious and maybe throwing a little bit of smoke and mirrors over to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics moving into this game, because I think any club now is looking at West Ham thinking about that attacking threat and what it could bring. With regards to Manchester United, they're informed Dan James, the fullback, could be recalled after missing the Europa League fixture in the week, but he did pick up a knock against Leicester City, so he is facing a late fitness test. But they're also without Pogba and Martial for the game against West Ham. The game on Sunday, live on TV, is going to be a really important game, for West Ham to show that we're not sitting back and we are going to attack this season moving forward. It wasn't the greatest of starts to the season, but we have done really well since then, and this is a really, really good opportunity, especially against I don't know what you can call Manchester United, not really great consistency with them. I mean, they have picked up a good run of results in the last 3 games after since the international break. So, but for me, it's really down to West Ham and how we get at Manchester United and We are a strong physical side, we are a great attacking side, and it's just about how we really sit up against them at home. We need to make the London Stadium fearless for teams to come to. And I think that's what Pellegrini's doing when he's building this side, this ticky-tacky, interesting, straight, you know, just an interesting side from the back all the way through to the front. When it comes to team selection for West Ham, I don't think there's going to be any changes except for the obvious one, which is Masuaku, who's going to be out for Creswell. So I think West Ham will set up the same. I think Manchester United's defence will struggle with Sebastian Haller up top. And I think Lanzini will pass his fitness test, and I think he'll start the side. And I think also Yarmolenko will start the game as well. A lot of fans have been going on about how they say that he's looking not fit, he's not looking up to physical peak. But I tell you something now, Yarmolenko is the sort of guy that takes a little while to come into a game, but once he grows into confidence, he is sometimes unplayable. And I think it's a no-brainer for me when he starts, and hopefully he can generate some more form like he showed against Norwich City. Some interesting facts for you. I don't know, some of them are pretty interesting, but did you know that West Ham have actually got 48 points from the last 30 Premier League games, which is the best record outside of the non-Big Six clubs, which is 1 point less than Tottenham. West Ham have won 14, drew 6 and lost 10. So there's progression there, guys. Something to look forward to, hopefully look forward to. Pellegrini has actually beaten 3 different Manchester United managers, Moyes, Van Gaal and Mourinho. And if he beats Solskjaer, he'll become the first manager to do so in the Premier League. Negative news is Manchester United have scored more goals against any other side against West Ham in the competition, which is 94 goals. Something that West Ham need to do. And our weakness point, in my opinion, is still our defence. It's likely, do you know what, we've got to give credit where credit's due. 2 games in a row, we've had clean sheets, and it's really important that we do keep those clean sheets. But there is a threat, and the threat is Marcus Rashford. His pace is frightening. And for any manager, you'd be like that, looking at our defence and seeing how weak they are, and you'd be like pinging the ball over the top. And I think he'll outweigh Diop and Ogbonna's pace, no problem at all. So that's where Diop needs to step up to the game and manage that back line and be a strong, hard defender, not letting anything get through. And if you look at that tackle he made against, I can't remember the player from Aston Villa, he absolutely took him out, but he took the ball and it was a fair tackle. It was so this is going to be an interesting game. Like I said, I don't think you're going to see many changes for West Ham except for the obvious, which is Masuaku stepping out because of his ban and Creswell stepping in. But we're at home, we're live on the cameras, it's an opportunity to progress up the league. I'm not going to say it, I'm not going to say where we could end up after results. But let's be positive, let's stay positive, and let's go for a 3-2 victory to West Ham. Make sure you get your predictions in below. Let me know your thoughts on what I've said on some of the statistics I've given to you. Man to watch if he starts for Manchester United, up and down the wings, is Dan James. I think he's a really good prospect. He's already scored goals already from that position. So he is the man to watch for Manchester United, the man to watch for West Ham. I'm saying Felipe Anderson. He's had a bit of a slow start, but he's still great. He still looks good. He still looks like the attacking threat. And I think he'll cause problems to Manchester United. So I'm going for a 3-2 victory to West Ham. Let me know your predictions by putting them in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the thumbs up. And just get behind the side. Come on, you Irons!